Hello children, I am here with another chapter of chemistry, and that is hydrogen chloride. This is the first part. So here we can start from the preparation, but before preparation let's know some important points or something about HCl gas. It occurs in a free state, okay, it is found in free state, okay, and it is found in gastric juice also. Gastric juice, this is present in the stomach, which is used to digest the foods also. Preparation, now we will start from here children, and this is your from here main part of this chapter is starting. So preparation, it is prepared in this atmosphere also, in the presence of diffused sunlight. Diffuse sunlight, so it will form HCl gas. Now see children, it is diffused sunlight. Diffuse sunlight means we are not putting this hydrogen and chlorine in direct sunlight. Diffuse sunlight means some part, or we will put some blockage over here, and in that one hole will be there, or you can say only few rays of sunlight will reach here with hydrogen and chlorine gas, and after that HCl gas will form. Okay, so you can say that diffuse sunlight we are taking, because if it is directly kept in the direct sunlight, so it will get explode. Okay, explosive reaction will take place. That's why it is diffused sunlight it is taken here. Now second method for preparation, this one is very important children. It is when NaCl reacts with concentrated H2SO4 when temperature is less than 200 degrees Celsius. It will form sodium bisulfate or sodium hydrogen sulfate, and HCl gas is formed. Okay children, so this is your main preparation of, this is important also. This is main preparation of HCl gas. It is prepared when NaCl reacts with sulfuric acid. Temperature it is kept below 200 degrees Celsius, and it will give sodium bisulfate and HCl gas. Okay, so here one question arises children, why temperature is taken less than 200 degrees Celsius? Okay, if it is more than 200 degrees Celsius children, the reaction will take place and that HCl will form when temperature is more than 200 degrees Celsius. This HCl will form, HCl gas will form, but here in place of sodium bicarbonate, it will form sodium sulfate. Okay, so why we are not using this method for the preparation of HCl? Why we prefer this one? We prefer this one, and we do not consider this one. So why temperature is taken below 200 degrees Celsius? So here you can write, see here first, if temperature is more than 200 degrees Celsius, you are getting HCl. If it is less than 200 degrees Celsius, you are getting HCl. So you want to prepare HCl only, then why you will waste your fuel over here? Here, if you are providing more energy, more heat, so you are wasting your heat over here. So if the product we are getting in the less temperature, why we should waste this heat here? So first point is that why temperature is taken below degrees Celsius? Because above 200 degrees Celsius, there will be wastage of fuel. Okay, wastage of fuel will be there because the products are same. So if we are getting same product at low temperature, why we will waste the fuel? Second point is that this byproduct is changed, and here sodium sulfate is, see this Na2SO4. Second condition is that sodium sulfate it is forming when the reaction is taking place in a glass test tube. Okay, this NaCl and H2SO4 is taken here, and byproduct is forming Na2SO4 if temperature is more than 200 degrees Celsius. So this sodium sulfate will get stick on the surface of this glass apparatus. Okay, so you can say this Na2SO4 is hard and sticky. It is hard and sticky. It will stick to the surface of this apparatus or glass apparatus, and it will sticky. Second point is it will slow down the reaction, slow down the speed of reaction. Okay, so that's why temperature is not taken above 200 degrees Celsius. Now third point is that if it is getting deposited on the glass of the apparatus, okay, so it may damage the apparatus. Okay, now second question, which is also based on this only, why HNO3 is not used in the preparation of HCl gas. Okay, why HNO3 is not used? It is also an acid, and reaction, after the reaction, see here reaction is like this, NaCl plus HNO3, it will give HCl and NaNO3. Here temperature will be below 200 degrees Celsius and concentrated HNO3 is taken. Okay, now why we are not using this HNO3? Okay, we are not using this. So here the answer will be HNO3 is volatile acid. Okay, and what does it mean? It means that it will form vapors and it will mix with HCl gas. Okay, so the purity of HCl gas will be not there. That's why HNO3 is not used. Otherwise, you can see that HCl gas is forming when you are taking HNO3. But we are not using HNO3 because it is a volatile acid and it will form vapor which will mix with HCl gas formed. Okay. And H2SO4 is a non-volatile. We are taking H2SO4. H2SO4 is non-volatile gas. Acid. It will not form vapors. So we prefer H2SO4 for the preparation of HCl. Next question which will arise from same equation, how will you dry HCl gas? Okay, so we need a drying agent. Okay, you can write by passing it through concentrated H2SO4. Okay, by passing it through concentrated H2SO4. See children, H2SO4 is acting like a drying agent as well as dehydrating agent. Okay, it is acting like drying agent as well as dehydrating agent. Okay, I will write it again, drying and dehydrating agent. Okay, what does it mean? Drying agent means here H2SO4 is acting like drying agent. Here it is drying agent. What does it mean? Drying agent are the substance which will remove water from the compound by physical method only. Okay, physical method on heating like that. Okay, but H2SO4 is acting like dehydrating agent also, but not here. I will tell you where it is acting like dehydrating agent. See, when we are taking an alcohol, ethanol, and H2SO4 is added here, see, there is no water in that alcohol. But when this is added, it is acting like dehydrating agent, and now after the reaction, water is formed. So here, this concentrated H2SO4 is acting like dehydrating agent, and how it is removing water? By chemical method. Okay, or chemical change you can write. Okay, so these are the difference between drying and dehydrating agent. Drying agent simply remove water by any physical method, and dehydrating agent will remove water after the chemical reaction. You will get water in the product side. Now next question is here. It is why we cannot use calcium oxide or quicklime. CaO is also known as quicklime. Why we cannot use quicklime as a drying agent? Okay, this is very good drying agent. CaO is very good drying agent, but we are not using this. We will use this concentrated H2SO4 as a drying agent. But why we are not using CaO or quicklime? See here, the reason is that HCl is an acid and CaO is a base. So when they will come in the contact of each other, the reaction will start in between them. Okay, they themselves start reacting. Acid and base, they both will react, and the purpose of the reaction is changed now. Here you are getting salt and water. You will not able to find HCl now. You see here no HCl is present in the reaction. So you can say that this CaO is a base and HCl is an acid. They both will start reacting and they will deviate from their path of drying the HCl gas, and they are forming calcium chloride and water. That is totally different, and we don't need these things when we are drying HCl. Okay, so that's why CaO is not used. Now next is the properties of HCl. You all know some properties of HCl, that is, it is colorless. Okay, it is acidic in nature. It smells like pungent smell. Okay, pungent choking smell. Okay, but out of these, next, second is this one, third is this. Fourth point is most important, that is solubility. This is most important point for HCl. Okay, now you can say that this solubility, how you will identify the solubility of HCl gas. This solubility you will check by this fountain experiment, children, and this fountain experiment is very important for your exam. This fountain experiment is very important for your exam. See how the apparatus arrangement is given here. This is a round bottle flask. In that flask, this one is a jet tube. You can see here, children, the jet tube has narrow, this one side is very narrow. That's why it is written here jet tube. Okay, this one is a dropper, and in this dropper water we are taking here, and this in a tank. This jet tube is dipped inside the tank, and that tank contain blue litmus solution. Okay, blue litmus solution is there in the tank. Now see how experiment is carried out. See, when we will squeeze the dropper, see this dropper is squeezed, and at that time some of the water molecule will get inside this bottle, and the HCl gas which is collected in this in this flask, that we are getting from the reaction. Okay, from the reaction we are getting dry HCl. Okay, that HCl gas is collected in this flask. This flask contains the jet tube and dropper. When we squeeze the dropper, some water molecule will get inside this bottle. In that water molecule, the whole gas of HCl will dissolve. See children, the solubility of HCl in water, it is very soluble. You can say that 1 milliliter of water can dissolve 800 milliliters of HCl. So you can say it is highly soluble in water. So when this water dissolves all the gas molecules, see here, suppose in this glass flask, some gases molecules are there of HCl. When they are dissolved here in this droplet of water, they all come here. So there will be no pressure on the wall of the flask, okay, because the all molecule of HCl is now in water molecule, water droplet. So here you can say that vacuum is created because no pressure is there. So vacuum is created, and or low pressure you can say. So when all the HCl gases dissolved in the water droplet, suppose here it is, all the gases is dissolved in this water droplet. So here vacuum is created or low pressure is there. Outside there is atmospheric pressure which is higher than the internal pressure. Okay, here it is low pressure and atmospheric pressure is higher. So due to this atmospheric pressure will now act on the surface of litmus solution. See, it is acting like this. It is applying pressure on litmus solution, and that moment this litmus solution will start moving up or rising up in the tube, jet tube. It will reach here, and when it will come out through this nozzle, so it will appear like a fountain, and the color of the fountain is red color fountain. Okay, why it is of red color? Because HCl is now dissolving in the water. So when blue litmus is coming here in the form of from the jet, it is coming in the contact of HCl, which is now having some moisture in it. So at that moment this blue litmus will change into red color solution, and you will see here a red fountain is appearing inside the flask. Okay, now what can you conclude from this experiment? You can say that HCl is highly soluble in water. Why it is highly soluble? Because of very tiny droplet of water, all the gases has been dissolved, and due to this the fountain is appearing on inside this flask, and this color of fountain, it is red color. Second observation or conclusion you can write, HCl is acidic in nature. HCl is acidic in nature. See, litmus is an indicator. When this blue litmus color is going up or rising up in the tube, it is changing its color from blue to red. Okay, blue to red it is changing. Now when the indicator is changing its color from blue to red, this means the solution is acidic. So you can say that HCl is acidic in nature. That's why the fountain color is of red color. Okay, one more time I will explain, children. This dropper is squeezed, water droplet come here, all the gases molecule present in the flask will come here and dissolve inside the droplet. Only few will remain, or there will be no gas molecule or dry gas HCl. So due to this there will be low pressure inside the flask, and atmospheric pressure is higher than the pressure inside the flask. Okay, atmospheric pressure is higher than the pressure inside the flask. So it will apply pressure on the surface of this blue litmus solution. Due to this liquid will rise up in the jet tube, and it will come out in the form of fountain, and the blue color solution will change into red color. So you can say that when blue color of litmus will change into red, this shows that the substance is acidic in nature. So this is the conclusion part which we will conclude from this experiment. Now see children, we have to prepare hydrochloric acid. We have just prepared the hydrogen chloride gas by reaction of sodium chloride and concentrated sulfuric acid, and the temperature is below 200 degrees Celsius. So you will get HCl gas. Now you have to prepare a hydrochloric acid. So this gas children, this gas is passed through this tube and it is getting dissolved here in this water tank. Okay, so in this tank water is already there and this reaction is taking place in the apparatus. Okay, and suppose this is a glass apparatus in which reaction is taking place, and through this apparatus one tube is attached and that tube is getting inside the water. So the gas which is forming, it will come here and it will get dissolved in this water. You all know that children, the HCl gas is highly soluble in water. Okay, that we have done in the fountain experiment. So here what will happen, the gas will come through the pipe or tube, it will dissolve here very fast. Okay, the rate of dissolution of HCl gas will be very fast. Due to this tube will get vacuum inside it, because all the molecule of HCl is now dissolved in this water. So vacuum will created here. So due to this vacuum, the atmospheric pressure is more outside the tube. So it will apply pressure on this liquid. Okay, and this liquid will flow or rise inside the tube and it will get inside the apparatus also. So this may damage the apparatus because the temperature is more than it is below 200. Okay, so this apparatus is hot, and due to this if water or any drop of mixture of HCl and water will get inside this apparatus, it will get damaged. So here children, the rate of dissolution of the gas is very higher than rate of formation of HCl gas. Okay, and due to this vacuum is created, and due to the vacuum atmospheric pressure is high. So water will rise up in the tube because vacuum is there and atmospheric pressure is more. So it will move inside the tube, it will reach here in the apparatus and it may damage the apparatus. So to avoid this back suction, children, this is known as back suction. Rising up of water in the tube is called back suction. So the removal of back suction is that we will place one inverted funnel with the tube, and this inverted funnel is of rubber. Okay, why we have taken rubber? Because rubber is lighter. Okay, same thing will happen here. Gas will form from this reaction. It will come here through the tube, but it is not getting directly dissolved in the water. First it will collect here in the funnel, and this funnel has large surface area. The gas will collected in this surface area, and after the collection of gas, it will start dissolving in the water. So once the gas is dissolved, here again vacuum is created, and due to the vacuum, atmospheric pressure is applied on the liquid and liquid will push up that funnel. Okay, and again you will see that the funnel is moving up and down, just like this movement is going on continuously unless all the gas is dissolved in the water. So this is called prevention of back suction. How it get prevented? It is prevented by adding this inverted funnel. This inverted funnel is made up of rubber. This will give large surface area. So here the rate of formation, some gas will come here and it will collected here, then dissolution will happen, and when it is getting dissolved, some more gas will form, and at that moment this funnel will rise up and down unless the reaction is complete. Okay, so you can one question rises from this experiment or dissolution of HCl gas. how will you prevent back suction? Okay, and this one is important question for your exam. Okay, this is important. Or avoid back suction. Okay, so first thing is that the inverted funnel prevents back suction of water. Here we have added the inverted funnel. Next is the inverted funnel provide large surface area for absorption of the gas. And third is that inverted funnel will rise up and come down, and HCl gas will dissolve slowly in water. Okay, because when it is up, that time HCl is not getting dissolved in water. When it will touch the surface of water, then only dissolution will take place. So these are the 3 points which will prevent the back suction of liquid. Now children, see here, what is the test for HCl acid? Okay, this is for HCl acid or gas. Okay, so when ammonia gas reacts with hydrochloric gas, it will give ammonium chloride, which is solid in state. Okay, these two are gaseous state and this one is solid in state. So sometime in exam it may ask that a gas A combines with a gas B, a solid substance is formed. This is dense white fume and it will give you smoke like formation will be there. So you identify A, B and C. So at that time children, you will write A will be ammonia, B will be HCl and C will be ammonium chloride. Okay, so like this in exam question may ask. In exam it may also ask that ammonium chloride is forming. What type of bond is present in ammonium chloride? So children, this is very important point. All 3 types of bond is present in ammonium chloride: ionic, covalent and coordinate. So these 3 bonds are present in this ammonium chloride. So these 2 points are very important. Wherever dense white fume is forming, which is in solid state, you can write it is forming due to reaction of ammonia and HCl acid, so or HCl gas. Okay, so this reaction is common for ammonia test also and HCl test also. So you can say this is important for your exam. Now one more question arises that how HCl gas acid will give change, how HCl acid will change the color of blue litmus to red. Okay, here it is acid. Okay, acid means it is in liquid state. So wherever it is in liquid state, it will form H plus ion, and when H plus ion is forming, it will show the property of acid. When HCl is in the gaseous state, it will not change the color of litmus. Okay, because it is not having H plus ion. When litmus paper is moist, children, at that time this HCl gas can produce H plus ion and it will change the color of blue litmus to red. But when it is dry, litmus paper also dry and HCl is also in the dry state, that time there will be no change in color of litmus. Okay, so this question is also important. Why the color of litmus paper does not change when HCl gas is passed through it? Okay, so you will write that litmus paper is dry, so and HCl gas is also dry, so H plus ion is not produced, that's why it is not showing the property of acid. Now some physical properties of HCl is that we have learnt that it is pungent smell, colorless gas. Now for acid, children, this is for HCl acid. So you will write litmus test blue will change into red color, methyl orange will change into pink color, phenolphthalein will change to colorless. Okay, and chemical properties, children, we will discuss now, and these properties are very important, children. See here, first property you all have learned from class 8th or 7th, that reaction of HCl with metal or acid reacts to give salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, and this type of reaction is called displacement reaction. You all know displacement reaction is based on the reactivity series. Okay, the element which is above hydrogen, that will the metal which is above hydrogen, that will displace hydrogen from the acid, and the metal which is below hydrogen, that will not displace hydrogen gas. Okay, or hydrogen atom. See here, Examples are zinc and HCl. Zinc is above hydrogen, so zinc can displace hydrogen from the acid. So zinc is coming in place of hydrogen, so it is forming zinc chloride, and hydrogen is coming out in the form of hydrogen gas. Okay, so zinc is more reactive than hydrogen, that's why this reaction is taking place. Now same with magnesium, children. Magnesium will react with acid. Magnesium is more reactive than hydrogen, so it will displace this hydrogen and form magnesium chloride, and this hydrogen will form hydrogen gas. Now you all know what is the test for hydrogen gas. That is, when burning candle or matchstick brought near to the evolving gas, it will produce pop sound. So this is the test for hydrogen gas. Now next is reaction with a base. So when HCl acid reacts with a base, it will give salt and water. This reaction is also known as neutralization reaction or double displacement reaction. Children, you all have learned double displacement reaction in class 8th also and 9th also. So in that case, you have to just interchange the plus ion. See here, Cu2 plus is here and H plus is here. So double displacement reaction, what you will do? You will interchange the position of plus ion. So this plus will come here and this plus will come here. So wherever this type of reaction, neutralization reaction is taking place or double displacement reaction is taking place, simply you will interchange the position of plus ion. So CaO is a base, HCl is acid. These two will react to give salt. That salt is calcium chloride. Ca, because Ca is displacing H from HCl. So Ca will come here, that will form CaCl2 and water will release. Children, one more thing you have to remember here, wherever oxygen is present in the reactant side, okay, that time hydrogen is not produced. That time this hydrogen will combine with this oxygen of the reactant and it will form water. Okay, in the first reaction, metal acid will give salt and hydrogen gas. In the second reaction with base and acid will give salt and water. Why it is forming water? Because oxygen is present in the reactant side and hydrogen is very good reducing agent, so it will combine with oxygen, oxidizing agent, and it will combine with oxygen and it will form water. Okay. NaOH, see here NaOH is there, HCl is there, salt will form, interchange the position of plus ion, here it is plus and this is H plus, so plus will come here, then NaCl will form and this H will move here, that will form water. Again ammonium hydroxide and HCl, see ammonia is plus ion and H is plus ion, interchange these two positions, then it will form NH4Cl. And this H will come here and it will form water. Okay, so you have to just interchange the position of plus ions. Now next is reaction with metal carbonate. Metal carbonate is CO3 2 minus. Okay, any metal is combined with this CO3 2 minus, then it will form metal carbonate. Children, here you will remember that point. Carbonate will give, always it will give carbon dioxide gas. Wherever carbonate is present, it will give carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so sodium carbonate is a metal carbonate with acid, HCl acid, it will give salt, sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Okay children, and magnesium carbonate will give, with acid, it will give magnesium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Now so see children, in the first step, here you can see, first step salt and hydrogen is forming, second step salt and water is forming, third step salt, water and carbon dioxide will form. Now you can see here with fourth step children, fourth reaction with sulfides, SO3 2 minus, see here SO3 2 minus is sulfides, it will give salt, water and SO2 gas. Okay, here CO3 was there, so CO2 gas was forming, SO3 is here, so SO2 will form. Okay, and reaction will be same, sodium sulfite acid will give sodium chloride, water and sodium sulfur dioxide. Here also zinc sulfite, HCl acid, zinc chloride, water and sulfur dioxide gas. Okay, so here you have to remember these points. Salt, water will be remain common, carbonate will add carbon dioxide, sulfite will add sulfur dioxide. Now this reaction is also very important, children. Reaction with sulfides, S2 minus. So zinc sulfide and lead sulfide, when they are reacting with acid, it will give salt. See here, children, here no oxygen is present in the reactant side. Just now I told you that wherever oxygen is in the reactant side, it will combine with hydrogen and it will form water. So here no oxygen is present. So that's why here no water is forming. In place of water, H2S gas is forming. Hydrogen sulfide gas is forming, not water. Okay, why not water is forming? Because in the reactant side no water is there. Wherever oxygen is present, then only hydrogen is combining with oxygen and it will form water. Now next is reaction with thiosulfate or thiosulfate, that is S2O3 2 minus. It will give salt and water. See here, children, SO3 2 minus will give SO2 gas. See here, SO3 is present. S2O3, in which SO3 is present. So SO3 will give SO2 gas. SO2 is removed and only S is left. So that S is forming yellow precipitate. Okay. See here, S2O3 2 minus. It is combination of SO3 and S. Okay. See here, SO3 and S. SO3, see here, SO3 is forming SO2 gas. So this SO3 will form SO2 gas. Okay. And this S will form precipitate, and that is of yellow color precipitate. Now sodium thiosulfate acid will react to give salt, water. See here, oxygen is there. That's why hydrogen gas is converted into water. And S2O3, out of this SO3 will give SO2 gas, and one S is left behind, that is yellow precipitate. Next is reaction with nitrates, NO3 minus, and this will give you salt and nitric acid. See children, this is very important reaction. Lead nitrate and HCl acid will give lead chloride, that is of white precipitate, and this hydrogen is combining with NO3 and it will form nitric acid. Okay, so this is also important reaction in which it may ask that name the salt formed when lead nitrate react with HCl acid, that give white precipitate which is soluble in hot water. So you can write that salt is lead chloride which is soluble in hot water. Next is silver nitrate with acid. It will give silver chloride, that is curdy white precipitate, and nitric acid. Again it may ask that name the curdy white precipitate which is soluble in ammonium hydroxide. Okay, so you will write silver chloride. And one more important point here, it is oxidation of HCl is removed from your syllabus, so you don't have to learn this oxidation of HCl. And aqua regia we will discuss in nitric acid chapter. Okay, so this chapter is finished now. We will start next new chapter in the next video.